Greetings to all and sundry, my dear people of Ambazonia, fellow brave warriors of our liberation movement. Greetings to each and every one of us, wherever you may be, whether you're on ground one, ground two, ground zero, ground three, or wherever you may be in any part of the world. Accept liberation greetings this Sunday, January 28th, 2024, from me, Comrade John Akuro. So I'm delighted to be here again for us to have this very another interesting conversation regarding, the ongoing armed conflict between the people of the southern Cameroons and the La République du Cameroon. Of course, never forget that the people of the southern Cameroons are pushing back aggression and invasion from La République du Cameroon because we found ourselves by default with them and we tried as much as we could to have conversations with them in order to see how we fix things and everyone goes to their borders peacefully and so we can live together as peaceful neighbors. But they decided that they needed to invade us, they needed to kill us, they needed to subjugate us, they needed to enslave us, and they needed to, keep us in captivity forever. That is how we found ourselves in this, in this fray where thousands upon thousands of people have already lost their lives. And so, my people, this Sunday, we're yet on another very important education campaign. And I always say it is good to know because when you know, you are able to overcome the challenges before you. When you know, you are able to take informed decisions. And when you know, it becomes very complicated for anyone, for anyone for that matter, to, deceive you, brainwash you, and make you, stand against what you truly believe in. And so, therefore, this Sunday is another opportunity for us to share knowledge, to exchange ideas, and especially to sensitize our people on the moves La République du Cameroon continues to take on our territory. We should inform us all that what we are involved in is a collective fight for our very existence. Underline very existence. Because as far as La République du Cameroon is concerned, we don't even deserve to exist. This is something that we must all bear in mind even as we open this conversation. I'd like to start today by sharing a thought. And I want to give credit to, to Professor Carlson Anyangwe, who shared this thought with me. It says, you can't liberate a slave who has found comfort in his captivity. Oh my goodness. Did someone hear this? You can't liberate a slave who has found comfort in his captivity. Now, this is very important, and I want to say it to in broken language. My country people, I dey talk say, the two I talk for baby grammar now, where I read na some pineapple, where some strong man talk am, and where na Professor Carlson Anyangwe, we know big book for international law. Now he share am with me, he talk say, you not fit free slave, where that slave don't decide say it be very comfortable for a master, for under a master as a slave. Man talk am again. May we hear am well. This big pineapple dey talk na say wetin say it be very difficult for you for free slave. Where that slave don't decide say it be very comfortable with status as a slave. When me say don't talk say he don't discover say slavery better pass freedom. Na another way that for put am. So folks, when you listen to this, when you read it, I share it again. It tells you one clear thing. That those in our midst who call themselves blacklegs, proud blacklegs, those in our midst who call themselves or who are enablers, those in our midst who call themselves so-called CPDM elite and all of those things, and who say they are fighting or standing for someone and indivisible, I don't know what. These are the people who fall within this category. People like that one who calls himself Melamoki Charles, like that one who calls himself Atangana Ponji, like that one who calls himself that he is the mayor or colonial mayor of Bafut and all of those things. Listen, folks. And I said the last time that his name was Ngwa Nkongo. Listen, folks. And I just learned that he had even been ostracized by the Bafut people, that he was publicly cursed by the Bafut Kwifon. I didn't even know that he had even descended already that low. Those are the people who fall within this category. All those in our midst who stand there and say, "Oh, I'm Cameroonian. Oh, I know David for that one Ambazonian thing. I'm not this." Those are the people who fall within this category. Those are the people this gentleman refers to as, that says you can't liberate slaves or a slave who has found comfort in his captivity. This message goes to all those who still move around and call themselves federalists. People like the Dr. Mumzu, people like my friend Agbobala, all those people who move around and say the federalists waiting call and all of those. These are people who have decided that slavery is sweeter than freedom. That is why it's so difficult to make them see the flip side of freedom. It's very complicated, and it's going to continue to be really hard, my people, to get there. I'm sharing this thought so that those who are still hanging on the fence, who are neither nor, should recognize that even you simply fall in the category of those who are finding comfort in their slavery, in their status as slaves. And that is why our job, our task is complicated. Because we have to work very hard to make you understand that you are a slave and that you deserve freedom. Very hard. People like the N.J. Clintons, like the Five Collins and others, who were told, be proud of yourself. You decide to subject yourself to humiliation. And of course, we see the consequences. But before I get into a few issues in the preamble, please share this link and share as much as possible, because we have a very important conversation ahead. Very, very important. Very important, because I like us to see grounds that we have covered. That over 7 years down the line, has Paul Biya and the Bulu Ekambeti regime learned anything? Have the citizens of La République du Cameroon learned anything? Or they are still determined to ensure that not only will they keep us in captivity, but they have to maintain us, even if they succeed in keeping us captive, they have to maintain us as a very dehumanized Lord. This is what I have right ahead. So don't shake, don't go away, rather share the link. So let's get a quick update about what happened to the fund of Bafut Fund Abumbi II. I talked elaborately about him in my last outing, and I noted that he was caught up at the Légion de Gendarmerie for in Bamenda, upstation in Bamenda, and I did not have information yet as to whether he had gone back to his palace or not, because he was summoned on the 24th of January, 24th of January 2024. And so finally yesterday I had a thorough briefing, and that briefing made known to me that he was grilled from 9 a.m. in the morning on that 24th of January right up to 7 p.m. in the evening, when he was finally allowed to go back to his palace. So the first piece of good news this morning is that Fana Bumbi is back in his palace. And the other piece of good news is that his body was not tampered with. Nothing had happened to him, at least until that moment. And I have that assurance. But there is very intriguing news that adds up to what I had brought here as revelations as to how Fana Bumbi of Bafut found himself having to answer questions at the Légion de Gendarmerie. So what I learned is that although he was let go, they retained 15 counts of what are likely to become charges against him in the event he gets caught up. I will not get so much into the nitty-gritties of those until I get all those counts. But first, let's note here that added to the list of those who conspired to get the fund of Bafut for Nabumbi into very difficult waters, besides the colonial Yaoundé appointee calling himself, parading himself around as mayor, the impostor parading himself around as mayor of Bafut, Dangwa Congo, whom I said a while ago, that was ostracized and was even cursed publicly by the people of Bafut. Of course, added to that list, him and Mr. Tangapor G, and I mean a few Bafut so-called elite or CPDM brainwashed individuals. Added to this list, intriguingly enough, are the funds of Balinyunga and of Balikumbat. This will embarrass anyone. What does the fund of Balinyunga come to look for in the business of the people of the fondom of Bafut? What does the fund of Balikumbat come to look for in the business of the people of the fondom of Bafut? You ask yourself this question. It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing. At the Gendarmerie headquarters in Yaoundé, my source was very clear and very specific, confirming this addendum, said that the fund of Balinyunga, fund Ganyunga of Balinyunga, who cannot set his foot again in Bali because his own children chased him away because he tried to set them up for killing. And he did. I hope nobody has forgotten this. That same fund of Balinyunga, from Ganyonga, had indeed set up 30 young Balimen who were killed and their bodies burned, and we all saw them in Balinyunga. They were set up by Fond Ganyonga, and it is for that reason that the self-defense volunteers in Balinyunga and the Balinyunga population chased away this fellow, a Yaoundé appointee as senator. That's how they chased away this fellow. So this fund of Balinyunga, along with the fund of Balikumbat, wrote a petition to support the misguided fellow calling himself a mayor of Bafut. They accused the fund of Bafut of being in connivance and in constant communication with a self-defense volunteer known as General Alaji. That's written in black and white. The fund of Balinyunga cannot say I'm lying, because it is there, written in black and white. The fund of Balikumbat cannot say I'm lying. I mean, in black and white, they accuse the fund. They are not there. So if they know that this fund is in constant communication with a self-defense volunteer called Alaji, hey, I should begin to suspect them. Because that means that they must have jammed in calls there too. Otherwise, what were they doing? What was the fund of Balinyunga and the fund of Balikumba doing in the phones of the said General Alaji to identify that he is in communication with the fund of Bafut? That's a very important question. Next, they accused him that he, the fund of Bafut, is in his palace, has never left his palace since this armed conflict started, whereas all other funds in Mezam have been forced to escape. Why is it that he has continued to stay peacefully in his palace and nothing has happened to him? I thought this idiot in Balinyunga and the power drunk one in Balikumbat, I thought they were aware that Mancon is in Mezam. Or am I mistaken? I thought they are aware that Mancon is in Mezam, right in the heart of Mezam, and that the Fund's palace is right there in Bamenda, not very far out of Bamenda. The Fawn's Palace. If you have been to Ntamafe or to Alabukam, there's a road that goes to that side, pass through that, you will get to the Fawn's Palace of Mancon. Are they saying the Fawn of Mancon had also run away from Mancon and is living elsewhere? Because to the best of my knowledge, the late Fonangwafo himself, he passed on right there in his palace. He never escaped from his palace for 1 hour. He never went anywhere. The Fawn of Com is in his palace. Or am I mistaken? The Fawn of Com is in his palace. Or they are still planning something to against the Fawn of Com and against the Fawn of Mancon. That's not all. They went further. They said, while all the other forms come together in meetings to denounce Ambazonia, to denounce what they call secession, to denounce the self-defense volunteers, and to curse, pour libation, do cleansing, they invite the Fawn of Bafut. He never attends any such meetings. Oh, so for that reason, they believe that he is an Ambazonian. Listen, the Fawn of Balenyonga from Ganyonga is a PhD holder. He studied in Germany. I never had a German wife. He studied in Germany. To say it's somebody who is learned, he was a lecturer in Economa Bambili. To imagine that it is someone that learned who is writing this trash is not only embarrassing, it's horrifying. They didn't end there. They said all the schools around are shut down. Why is it that the school owned by Fon Abumbi, Kotek Bafut, why has it not been shut down? Ha! Schools are shut down. Sacred Heart College is operational. It's there, Mancon at the edge, going towards when you are going towards Bafut. Sacred Heart College is there. There's St. Albert, if I'm not mistaken, St. Albert should be in Bafut. It's operational. The girls' vocational school in Mambu, Bafut, is operational, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it that the forms of Balinyunga and of Balikumba are not aware of this development? They only saw Kotek. And all this because they're trying to incriminate the Fawn of Bafut. The only reason being that this Fawn is loved by his people, is being protected by his people, and is quietly in the palace there and has refused to get involved in controversy. I've not heard the Fawn of Com being involved in those controversies. I've not heard. I haven't. And you see, this is a trend. This is how they set up and killed the Fawn of Isu on this same kind of trumped up accusations until the military talks of La République du Cameroon opened fire on the Fawn of Isu, killing him and his queen. This is what they did. And when they begin like this, you have to be on the watch out. Because all those funds that are close to their people, they are after them. We saw that with the fund of Biame. How they started, why was the fund of Biame received in a convoy led by Amber Boys and all of those things led by the self-defense volunteers? The self-defense volunteers are children from that village joining the population to honor their fund. Oh, yes. I have said this before, that these evil people operate from the mantra, if you are not with us, you are against us. They don't believe in neutrality. They don't believe in you deciding not to be part of some controversy. And now, those are slaves. He refused to find himself in a kind of situation where the fun of finds himself. He refused to find himself in the kind of situation where the form of Babanki or Big Babanki finds himself. He refused to find himself in a kind of situation where other stupid people moving around and calling themselves funds have found themselves. Like the fund Bambis, like the one who called himself the fund of Kichom or from Keshom or from Kichom or whatever, trying to give lessons. Listen, folks, the Republic of Cameroon is a system known so well for their ability to employ divide and rule, to destroy a people. We must remain strong by our people. I'm calling on the people of Bafut, the people of Nizam, and Southern Cameroon and some Ambazonians as a whole. Let's continue to watch the backs of those traditional authorities that have understood the need to stay with their people and stay out of this controversy. We need to watch their backs. These are people who are struggling all they can to uphold our tradition. Why a small bunch of lunatics, overwhelmed with what they consider to be traditional powers, confused, now think that they also hold the power of life and death over their people in favor of a colonial enemy? Strange and also shameful. Let's let go. Now you see, folks, we can talk a bit about football, just so that you see where these people are today. This is where La République du Cameroun is today. They spent time after their match against the Gambia insulting, attacking, berating the people of the Southern Cameroons, calling us names, telling us all kinds of things, and all of those things, singing all kinds of trash about us and all of this. But you see, they forgot that, as a matter of fact, the appearance of the flag of the people of the Southern Cameroons on any TV channel during that particular encounter was rather a harbinger of good luck for them. That's what they forgot. Because look at this. What happened to them? How did they find themselves here when you see this picture? Completely bashed and beaten to the point where they are under life support. It is because they really, honestly, have failed to understand that when vicissitudes set in, there is nothing that you can hope for. All they know is noise. Go shout there. Oh, those Ambazonians, they will be independent over our dead bodies. I know what my answer is to any of them that says that. I say, so be it. Be ready to die. Because Ambazonia will be. There is nothing, absolutely nothing any of them can do. Nothing anyone can do to stop it. Ambazonia will be. And so if you swear that will be over your dead body, be ready to die. Start preparing for your funeral. Because Ambazonia will be. Folks, this is noise that they are making not only on us. They've made the noise so much so that it attracts international condemnation and ridicule. Just watch and listen to what this young Ivorian says about them.
Il dit, vous les Camerounais là, les Songhais, les Papatos d'Afrique là, prenez tabouret, asseyez-vous, vos chefs vont vous parler. C'est-à-dire qu'un Ivoirien parle là, vous Camerounais, vous devez vous taire. Mais j'ai comme...
Did you hear that? The young man said that when an Ivorian speaks, Cameroonians shut up. Listen, it's because of this their noise. They have attracted international scrutiny upon themselves. And those are parashiks among us who are trying to say, oh no, I'm Cameroonian, doing what they call, it's a Nigerian act called claiming relationship. You will share in this insult.
L'impression que certains Camerounais, c'est-à-dire, voici des gens qui passent tout leur temps à boire. Ils passent tout leur temps, au lieu de penser même au développement de leur pays, ils passent tout leur temps à boire l'alcool. L'alcool a constipé, c'est-à-dire leur cerveau, de tel point qu'ils n'arrivent même pas à réfléchir au développement de leur pays. Voici un pays comme le Cameroun qui est numéro 1. le pays où la corruption est légalisée. C'est bien les bien.
Did you hear that? The young man is saying that the people are making noise to the point they can't even settle down to ask questions about the development of their own country. And now he has gone into enumeration. He enumerate him now. He has gone into enumeration. He wants to say exactly why Cameroon is one of the most useless countries on planet Earth. He started by saying, number one, that Cameroon is the one country where corruption is legalized. Hey, Flo, young man, I'm listening.
Le Cameroun. Au jour d'aujourd'hui, vous Camerounais, vous allez parler si un Ivoirien, ou bien vous Camerounais, vous allez mal parler de son excellence, le président Alassane Ouattara, qui est un travailleur. Écoutez, dites à vos dirigeants, dites à Biya de vendre le Cameroun dans la main de Alassane Ouattara. On va vous montrer.
Did you hear that? That they should tell Paul Biya. They should tell their leaders to sell Cameroon to Alassane Ouattara, the president of Côte d'Ivoire, so that he should do what with it.
Comment on développe un pays. C'est de ça qu'il s'agit. C'est de ça qu'il s'agit. Moi aujourd'hui, ça me dérange de voir qu'aujourd'hui, un pays comme le Cameroun, il n'y a pas d'eau, il n'y a pas d'électricité.
Hear what he said? That they should sell Cameroon to Alassane Ouattara, and he will show them how they develop a country. Oh my goodness. Oh, shame of shames. And he says a country where there is no water, again.
Et puis quand on parle de ça, des analphabètes, vous vous mettez à insulter les gens. Moi, ma vidéo là, j'ai fait et je continuerai à faire des vidéos. S'il y a un Camerounais garçon, je le dis et j'insiste, s'il y a un Camerounais garçon qui ose répondre à cette vidéo, ça veut dire quoi? Vous pensez que la...
Did you hear that? That Cameroon, no water, no electricity, nothing. And when people talk about it, instead of burying their heads in shame and asking for accountability from their leaders, what do? They come out to insult people and make noise. And here the challenge he gives, that if there is a Cameroonian who is a man, please allow me to talk in tongues, so please, just let me talk in tongues small. So he said, if there's any man in Cameroon, a man. Oh, what is he saying? The all Cameroonians are women. No, I don't mean to insult any woman at all. But what he's saying is that in Cameroon, they're all lunatics, brainwashed people with no sense of initiative, no courage, nothing. That's why Biya is sitting on their heads and peeing on their heads, pooping on their heads, doing them anything. So see, if there is any man, one person who calls himself a man, stand up and talk to him.
En Côte d'Ivoire, là, c'est vos camarades. Vous pensez que le président Alassane Ouattara, c'est votre ami? Il n'est même pas l'ami de vos présidents. Il est le président de vos présidents. Vous devez le respecter. Parce que ce que vos présidents n'ont pas pu faire en 40 ans de pouvoir, Alassane Ouattara l'a fait. Il l'a fait en moins de 10 ans. Il a...
Did you hear that? That when Ivorians speak, Cameroonians shut up and says Alassane Ouattara, their president, is not a friend to Cameroonians, not even a friend to their president, Paul Biya. That he is a president of Paul Biya, that he is even president to Paul Biya. Because what he and Alassane Ouattara has been able to do in Côte d'Ivoire in less than 10 years, Biya has taken 41 years and can't even do a pinch of it. Which unfortunately is just the truth.
Développer son pays. Il a construit des infrastructures dans son pays. Quand un Ivoirien aujourd'hui regarde son pays, quand un bon Africain regarde la Côte d'Ivoire aujourd'hui, il est fier d'être africain. Tellement que vous êtes jaloux, vous êtes frustré, vous êtes, c'est-à-dire...
No, let me let him go. The insults are too much. At least those people are our neighbors. Yourself, when you saw people, you have some little refrain now. He says, today when anybody looks at Côte d'Ivoire, if you go to Côte d'Ivoire, I mean, as an African, you are proud to say that you are an African because of what you see there. And why he is saying this so? Folks, there's a Cameroonian lady, a young Cameroonian girl who was in Côte d'Ivoire for these matches. She couldn't beat the feeling. Watch her.
C'est-à-dire que c'est alors à la tour Eiffel ivoirienne. Regardez, admirez vous-même. Quand on vous dit que ici c'est Mbeng, vous croyez qu'on blague. Regardez vous-même. Regardez.
Did you hear her? She says, je suis à la tour Eiffel ivoirienne. And she says, when they tell you that Côte d'Ivoire is Mbeng, that's Europe, you think it's a joke. She says, see. So that Ivorian man is insulting La République du Cameroon, finishing them. And a Cameroonian is corroborating by showing. Now me talk, not be me. when you get yourself unevenly yoked with a people who have no sense of direction, no vision, who don't even know what they want, that the only thing they know is making sure they subjugate you, make you a slave. The only thing they know is insult you, dehumanize you, call you rats, call you roaches, call you dogs, say they will exterminate you and all whatnot. Just look at now when they are faced with corrupt here.
Ok, je demande, toi tu fais quoi au sol? Tu es dans ton salon ici là. Tu peux t'asseoir comme ça au Cameroun. Tu peux t'asseoir comme ça au Cameroun.
Je suis à Paris, je dis à la famille que à quoi bas.
Aïe aïe aïe. À quoi comment? En quoi bas?
2 jours seulement que je suis ici en Côte d'Ivoire seulement, je brûle seulement.
Jusqu'à s'asseoir au soleil. Ouah, Seigneur, on vous dit que ici là c'est un bang. Vous-même regardez comment c'est eaux. C'est chic. Les Ivoiriens là.
So you can see them. They are wearing Cameroonian colors. They are so overwhelmed. They are so overwhelmed that they can't even hold it. That's in another country. They say this is Europe. That is Cote d'Ivoire, that this is Europe. You see, you look after that, you are sitting there on the. Can you have a place like that to sit on the ground on the roads in Cameroon if you are not going to be sitting on dust or on mud? Yet, you have some brainwashed people in Ambazonia struggling at all costs to claim relationship with a failed neighbor, to try to tie us to a failed bunch of humans with no sense of direction and no vision, who can't help themselves, and you have the feeling that they can help you. When you stay with such a people too long, you end up being like them. That is what is happening to some of our people who no longer even recognize that they are slaves, even when they tell them to their faces. Just look at these girls.
Donc, vous méritez gros bisous comme ça. Oh, ah non, vous connaissez votre chose. Non, quand c'est bien, il faut dire que c'est bien. Laissez la jalousie. Laissez ça, laissez tous les problèmes du net là. Ça là, c'est ah les Ivoiriens, je vous aime. C'est-à-dire que ça.
So can you see a Cameroonian mocking at her own populace herself? See, people leave that nonsense. Don't try to compare yourself with Ivorians. This is noise that when it is good, recognize it is good. Oh, shame of shames. Let me tell you, folks. 5 years maximum. 5. From the day we kick out these misguided and lost fellows from our land. From the day we push like we do the Cameroon's colonial administration completely and exterminate the last vestiges of their evil colonial presence on our land. 5 years from that day, you will find their citizens come into Ambazonia and take videos like this and send back to their people. Trust me on this. Jump onto this train. Things will never be the same again. Because look at this. I was embarrassed to find some of our people doing the why Cameroon has scored, why Cameroon has won. And I asked them, do you know? Now you're skipping that some of them are standing and look at you and say, look at me, these confused people. We have defeated but you. Oh my goodness. That is why I shared this thought by Valerie Piolet. And I like Barrister Akere Mona for digging it out from wherever he dug it out. And I saw it on his Twitter account. I said, oh, wow, that's interesting. Just a people overwhelmed by mediocrity condemns itself to failure and misery when they know more about football than their own rights. When they scream louder for a goal than for an injustice, and when they demand more from a player than from their leaders. Che. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, Pariwayo. I would have exclaimed in Arabic by saying, oh, Zamo, look at this. Look at this. Amoa, read it. A people overwhelmed by mediocrity condemns itself to failure and misery when they know more about football than their own right, when they scream louder for a goal than for an injustice, and when they demand more from a player than from their leaders. That's Valerie Piolet. Look at these folks. This I sign it simply and I I slap it on the foreheads of all those southern Cameroonians that are gladly called Anglophones who were all over social media. Whoa, we won, excited, all this. I mean, you are just a bunch of lunatics, bunch of ridicule. That's who you are. When I could see you scream, shout, I asked, could you shout the same like this when you heard that La République du Cameroon forces bash into a hospital, pulled a sick person receiving treatment from the sick bed to go and kill? Did you shout? Could you shout like this? I didn't see you, those ones making the way Cameroon has won. Scream like that when Bebe Brand the Tractor was shot dead in Bamenda for no good reason. No, you didn't do that. When it happened to Bebe Carol Luis in Biya, you didn't do that. When they burnt down village after village in the southern Cameroon, up to 456 and counting. When the current Archbishop of Bamenda, Andrew Kia, was Bishop of Manfi, he went to visit the area and the villages that were burnt, where the houses and everything were reduced to rubble and dust by the colonial forces of La République du Cameroon. Did I see people shouting like this? Wow! What a shame. What a disgrace. Well, folks, that said, I want us to get into the beef of our conversation of today, which has to do with Mr. Paul Biya continually demonstrating by day and by night his ambition to keep pressuring our people. His ambition to make sure that even when they hold us, if they succeed in holding us captive, God forbid, we will continue to be dehumanized. Every act that Mr. Biya takes from 2017 until this day has never been in the area of reparation, has rather been in the area of pushing his fingers deeper and deeper into our eyes. Are we reacting properly? Let's take a quick break and come back. After that brief stopover in Mogamo, we will ride on with our discussion for today. And folks, especially those of you from the southern zone, I want to please send me raw video of, our traditional display in the southern zone. I've asked before, I've asked over and over, don't send me Nico's YouTube link because it's already there. I know it, I see it on YouTube. You see what I'm playing here? People who are exercising raw. You are in Europe, you are in America, you are in Asia, you are back on ground zero. You have occasions where you display, where you do a traditional display, just like these people. Send it to me. Send me the raw footage. That's what I want. I need that raw footage to use in promoting our culture. Because at some points I see people come writing comments and claiming that I'm ignoring our tradition from the forest zone, from the southern zone. I'm interested in promoting our tradition across the board. Don't forget, it's just that the way I left, the way I was, I had to run to safety. I didn't have time to live with my rushes. I would have had a lot of it because I shot documentaries in all of those areas. In all of those areas, especially in Widikum, where, Widikum local government area is a mix of people from both zones. A very fine mix. I had a very wonderful moment there. I have a lot of rushes of such traditional dances. I have two from Manfi. I have two from Dian. I mean, when I went, because I went there a lot of times for, activities where Pamor had displays, Labor Day celebrations. I went to a good lot of that. I have a lot of that footage. But unfortunately, I can't even tell where all of those things are right now. So help me share them. Okay? Okay, so let's move on. Folks, while the various nations across Africa were preparing for the AFCON, for the Africa Cup of Nations, the euphoria in La République du Cameroon was so serious because they were calling themselves the continent, and they were going to collect what they had, told themselves is their birthright, the Africa Cup of Nations, the trophy. In all that melee, Mr. Paul Biya was busy doing what he knows how to do best. During that period, he appointed colonial senior divisional officers to our territory, of course, in his country, and reached out in our territory. You see this footage I'm showing there? It is one of the decrees that appoints inspectors general. And that decree is appointing inspectors general to the various regions of La République du Cameroon. And of course, they didn't hesitate to appoint some in our zone, where they continue to claim is their territory. As you see on that decree, in Bamenda, they appointed Ekale Netonda. Ekale Netonda, when I looked at the name, of course, he's from Ambazonia, and so that was an isolated case. But of course, he is appointed in Bamenda. That was an isolated case. And so when you go further to look at the next page of those appointments, that one has to do with the appointment in the southern zone, where they appointed Wulsu Jacques as Inspector General in Biya. Don't forget that Wulsu Jacques is a citizen of French Cameroon. Listen, he's appointed Inspector General of Services in the Southern Zone. That's not all. Mr. Paul Biya continues his appointment. The next one that you're going to see there is, it has to do with the appointments of Secretaries General to the various regions. Because there's Governor, there's Inspector General, there's Secretary General, and then before you have the Senior Divisional Officers. And on this particular shot that I'm showing you now, you will see there in Bamenda, as Secretary General, they appointed Saiduna Ali. Saiduna Ali is appointed Secretary General in Bamenda. Of course, in Biya, they did not replace, because there's already a French-speaking citizen, a citizen from La République du Cameroon in Biya as Secretary General. Now, they did not end there. Mr. Paul Biya continued with his appointment avalanche. He appointed senior divisional officers, and so on this rush that you have there, you will see the announcement of appointments of senior divisional officers. And then on the next page I'm showing you, you will see that for the northern zone, he appoints in Boyo Saidu Musa as senior divisional officer in Boyo, as colonial senior divisional officer in Boyo, with office, of course, in Fundong. And then in Donga Mantum, he appoints Basilic and George Magloa in Donga Mantum. Of course, he's also a citizen of La République du Cameroon. Both of those are citizens of La République du Cameroon 100%. And then he moves on to the southern zone, where for Fako, with office in Victoria Limbe, he appoints Viang Mekala as colonial senior divisional officer. Of course, Viang Mekala was already in Manfe as a colonial senior divisional officer for Manu. And so he moves Viang to Victoria, and then appoints Awumfak Alienu Yves Bertrand to replace Viang in Manu, that's in Manfe, as colonial senior divisional officer. Now, I know you had time to listen to these things passively. You didn't take time to look at them critically. That's why I'm here on this particular subject matter right now. If you look at it, folks, there is one thing that will come to our fore. And this one thing is that what? This one thing is that La République du Cameroon continues to demonstrate beyond reasonable doubt that we are a colonized people. They are not shy, they are not afraid, they don't care. They continue by day and by night to confirm that we are absolutely in captivity. Go back to those appointments. You see that in Biya, the colonial governor is Okalia Bilai Bernard from La République du Cameroon. The inspector general of services, Wulsu Jacques, is from La République du Cameroon. The secretary general is from La République du Cameroon. The senior divisional officer, the colonial senior divisional officer for FACO, with office in Limbe, is a citizen of La République du Cameroon. The divisional officer for Biya, folks, I don't want to go far. Let me not get down to colonial divisional officers. Let me end at level of senior divisional officers. So look at this. These are people who have to decide on your destiny. These are people who have to decide on the development of your land. These are people who have to decide your development priorities. I mean, governor, inspector general, secretary general, senior divisional officer in the regional capital, 100% citizens from La République du Cameroon. Belamoki, are you listening to this? Because I keep agreeing with you by day and by night that someone's knee is on the neck of the Southwest region. And by day and by night, I help you to see whose knee is there. Because this is ridiculous. When you sit down and people tell that, oh no, these are people are saying one and indivisible. This is horrible. This is unacceptable. I mean, this is unacceptable. But it's a clear pointer to why we are involved in this liberation movement. That's why I tell people every day, Paul Biya is our gift that will never stop giving. Because by day and by night, he reminds all those who are standing on the fence. He reminds all those who are loitering around as enablers. He reminds all those who are calling themselves proud black legs that you are nothing but slaves. You are nothing but a conquered people. Otherwise, how do you explain this? Someone make it make sense to me. This is a region where the people, their first language of instruction is English. But look at governor, inspector general of services, secretary general, senior divisional officer in the capital, the region, are all citizens of La République du Cameroon speaking French. What do you want me to say? If I pushed further, you would have seen that even in faraway Kupeng Wanenguba is another citizen of La République du Cameroon that was just appointed senior divisional officer, colonial senior divisional officer. La République du Cameroon believes that the only way they hold us in captivity is making sure they don't send any of us because they don't trust any of you. Those of you who are lodging around and claiming relationship, they don't trust you. This is how the French did. The French had to get French people in every place to control all aspects of life. La République du Cameroon is telling us we can't manage ourselves. They have to run us for us. Even with a raging war, they are not shy. Then imagine what will happen if we ever caught up to them. Now I've left Biya. Let me move over to Bamenda. Governor, colonial governor, Lele Lafrique de Ben Chofo. Inspector general, they say, okay, we'll bring someone and put inside there and, just water down. A Calais Netonda because Bamenda s'affaire trop de bruit là. I mean, une personne là, on essaye, make a sieve. Secretary general, in Bamenda, Saiduna Ali. Senior divisional officer, the colonial senior divisional officer, Mo Emile. All of them were citizens of La République du Cameroon with the exception of Netonda. Am I speaking? Am I making sense to someone? Folks, if you are not understanding anything, then something needs to be done to open your head, to open your brain, so you see what I am seeing. Folks, this is why I keep telling us every day that God has created that we are involved in an existential war, the war for our own very existence. Don't tell me you are neutral. Neutrality means you are standing with the enemy. That's exactly what it means. Don't tell me that you are just quiet, you are watching. No, watching means you're standing with the enemy. That is what this means. Folks, when I tell you don't send them containers, while a good majority of those who are shipping containers, they have stopped, there are some who have said they will die doing only that because they feel comfortable as slaves. Listen, if this has angered you, as it really angered me that I took time to put this together, then immediately, without any waste of time, pick your phone, go to www.oneportrelief and oneportrelief.org and do the magic. Contribute to move this liberation movement forward. Because we cannot with our eyes open, allow La République du Cameroon to take us on this expensive ride. No, we are not slaves. We are humans. We have rights. No, we are not slaves. We are humans. We know what we want. I say hurry. Pick up your phone. Jump quickly. Go to www.oneportrelief and make a contribution. If you are as angry as I am, seeing this. This is what they have done over the years. Sometimes they tried to mitigate, but right now, they are thinking in their head somewhere along the line that they could possibly squeeze us. That's why all over the place, it's them. I'd like you to watch this installation ceremony for the Colonial Senior Divisional Officer in Fako. And you hear the language that is spoken there from start to finish. You hear them when they finish doing all this thing. This, when you listen to them, you actually understand that this is a total colonial setup. I won't take you through that trash. I want you to hear just the beginning.
Cadeau! Adam, Poké, Am, Présenté, Am. Ouvrez le banc. Administrative authorities of...
So did you hear that? Look at that. I was interested just at that beginning. This is in our land. Eh? You see, the military, they tell you that the only language spoken in the military is French. So you see, they come and say, we are coming to stop. This is how they do demonstration of force that will tell us you are nothing. Folks, listen, I don't know how you feel about it, I said so. But the way I feel about it is that me, Bakuro, I am too angry and I will never ever let it go unchecked. I will not. That is why by day and by night, I make my contributions. That is why by day and by night, I will continue to stand up for that which I believe in. That is why by day and by night, I will continue to say this thing is wrong. I will continue to say I will fight it. And I will fight it all the way to the very logical end because it is wrong.
FACO Division, Forces of Law and Order, Municipal Magistrates.
So it's something That's very irritating. They are not shy about it. They are not pretending about it. We are the ones who have decided that, okay, we want to live in slavery and servitude. And that is why this thought makes all the sense in the world to me. That you can't liberate a slave who has found comfort in his captivity. How do you become comfortable in prison? How do you become comfortable in torture? Can someone really tell me that? Can someone explain this to me? Someone should make it make sense to me that you feel comfortable in captivity. Folks, we have to rise. We have to continually rise and fight for that which we believe in. And as if that is not enough, they are teaching all of those are people who are still dreamers who sit down and think that, oh no, someday they will change and all of those things. When they tell you, you don't believe it. They are not shy in making you understand that that country belongs to Bulu, a Campeti. You and I don't belong. I don't care what happens to the rest of the people of that country. If you are doubting, at the recent reopening ceremony at Enam, in Enam, yeah, what they call Rentrée Solennelle. Listen, the people moved to the next level. The chanting, the singing was in Bulu. You will soon accuse me that I'm just making up things. Watch. So you have watched now. You heard now. What will you do? Because they'll ask you, vous allez faire quoi? Vous allez faire quoi? My people of Ambazonia, we must continue to say no to them on our territory. They can do these things among themselves there and go with it. No, this is not what they call national integration. No, this is not what they call national unity. No. No. They can't do that. So, like I said, if you are just as angry as I am, we're seeing this kind of maneuvers that every day, like Cameroon continues to consolidate that notion that we are under slavery and servitude. Please rush quickly to www.oneportrelief.org, www.oneportrelief.org, and make your contribution. So I will be rounding up this broadcast, and I'm thanking each and every one of you for taking time off to be on this platform, so we share this knowledge together. Of course, share the link to those who are not able to follow us live, so they should be able to be part of the information we shared in this broadcast. I know that it's about 2 minutes to 2 minutes to 10 p.m. Yes, on ground zero. 2 minutes to 10 p.m. Yes, in Muyuka. Of course, yeah, that's true. And it's also exactly 2 minutes to 10 o'clock to 10 p.m. on Boo Road, which is absolutely the same time in Badun and in Jungo. Okay, folks, thank you so much for being part of this broadcast, and we'll meet again here, in about 48 or 72 hours, where we'll have another opportunity to share knowledge and to share information and motivate and mobilize ourselves towards ensuring the freedom of our land. To God be the glory.